Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit and another episode of What Are We Eating? When I was a kid growing up in the 70s, we always, and I mean always, had bologna in the house. We'd eat it cold out of the pack on white bread with a smear of mustard or mayonnaise, and if we were lucky, we'd even have a piece of cheese. I don't remember if it was the original bologna with just chicken and pork or the good bologna with just beef. But I do know, now that I'm older, I will only eat the beef bologna. I had two favorite ways to eat bologna that simply made me feel special. Fried, of course. Who doesn't love a good fried bologna sandwich? But my all-time favorite way to eat bologna was to put a piece of bologna on a plate with a piece of American cheese folded in half and then half again, put it right in the middle of the bologna, and then microwave for 30 to 40 seconds. The bologna would curl up into the shape of a clam, and you would have a molten lava-like cheese in the middle with slightly fried and crispy bologna as the bowl. As an adult, I don't eat bologna like I used to, but I still do eat it occasionally. Whether I'm making a super cheesy, artery-clogging, redneck steak and cheese sandwich, or smoking a bologna chub to make fried, smoked bologna sandwiches. So the other day, my wife went to one of my personal playgrounds without me. Not sure who the hell she thought she was going to the Family Dollar without me, but she did bring back this can of Crider chicken bologna. I'm not sure why this immediately intrigued me and grossed me out at the same time. But hey, why not? I love potted meat, and it's in a can, and I eat Viennese weenies from time to time, and they're in a can. So how bad could chicken bologna in a can be? Oddly enough, there's very few ingredients in this chicken bologna. But, of course there's one that you simply cannot have chicken bologna without. The ever yummy, mechanically separated chicken. Whenever I see mechanically separated meat as an ingredient, I always think about the frog in the blender joke. Along with the yummy chicken pudding, you have water, modified cornstarch to hold everything together, along with salt, sodium phosphate, spices, sodium nitrite, and granulated garlic. They say there's 5.5 servings in the can, so if you slice the bologna, someone's getting robbed of a half a slice. If you stick to the recommended serving size, I guess you could say the nutrition facts are fine. But if you even slightly increase them to a more realistic 3-ounce serving, then they start to go downhill in a hurry. If you increase the serving size to an even more realistic serving of 4 ounces, that cuts the servings down to less than 3, and the numbers get a lot worse really quick. Like I said before, in my opinion, the manufacturers decrease the serving size to make the nutrition numbers appear to be not as bad as they really are. So read these labels really closely, especially if you have any health concerns, so you are fully aware of what you are eating and how it will affect you. For a canned product, it appears to have a really short shelf life, but I'm assuming that canned chicken bologna isn't really popular, so it may have been sitting on the shelf for a while. When I first opened it up, it looked like dog or cat food. No different than potted meat. I love potted meat, so not really a big deal. But the smell, it was horrid. Bologna itself has a very distinctive smell. It smells like bologna. But this smell, it was almost as if it was sour. This bologna had obviously been in here a while. Quite a while, because it did not want to come out. I poked a hole in the bottom to release the vacuum. If there was one, it would not come out. I ran a knife around the edges, it still wouldn't come out. So I had to very gently pry it out in order not to break it up, and it finally came out. When the bologna finally came out of the can, I think I found the cause of the sour smell and the reason it wouldn't come out of the can. It appears as though there was a fungus among us, and it was growing in the can or maybe to the can. I'm not really sure what this was, but at this point, I was sure it wasn't normal and I was not going to eat this. Can you imagine what this would look like in another year by the expiration date? Even though I'd already decided I was not going to eat this, I still wanted to slice it and cook it and see how it compared to regular bologna. As soon as I started cutting into it, it felt very weird. It was mushy on the outside and got really firm in the middle. I guess after I cut the end piece off with the growth or whatever it was on it, I could have tried another piece, but I wasn't going to take any chances. Once it was sliced, it looked like bologna. Then I cut it up into smaller pieces to get an idea for the texture, and it felt rubbery and tough. Then I threw a slice into a dry skillet over medium-high heat, just like I would a regular slice of bologna. I let the slice cook for 3 minutes per side, and there was no rendered fat, and it did not brown very well. The parts of the bologna that did brown looked more like scabs that would make Goldmember proud. So here's our finished, fried piece of canned chicken bologna. It certainly doesn't look like any fried bologna I've ever had, and it doesn't feel like it either. It seemed to have formed a skin on the outside, not a crust. And directly underneath of the skin, it feels really mushy, almost like a waterbed. When I went to cut through the slice of bologna, it popped through the skin and into a mushy mess. The texture definitely changed once it's cooked. It's not rubbery anymore, it's more of a mush. I don't know if there was really anything wrong with it, but that spot in the beginning really threw me off, and I wasn't going to take any chances just for a $1 can of bologna. But from the looks, feel, and smell of this bologna, I wasn't missing anything. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you do not give this a try. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.